Good morning, and thank you for joining me today. Over the next 20 minutes, I'm going to give you an overview of the pros and cons of retirement property and give you some information so that you can work out whether it's a viable option for you. As you will see, it's an enormously diverse sector that we think is often overlooked or misunderstood by people of a certain age. At any point during my talk, if you have questions, just type them in the chat box and one of our team will be on hand to give you the answers. I'm going to talk you through 5 areas. The first, the benefits of retirement living. Who's it for? Who isn't it for? The second, the different shapes and sizes of the developments. The third, the care available within developments. And the fourth, the financial and legal aspects you should consider. And finally, I'm going to give you some tips to help you narrow your search to make sure you find the right retirement property for you. But before we begin, let's just deal quickly with some statistics. The number of people in the 65 plus age bracket living in the UK is forecast to rise by 20% to 12 million over the next 6 years. And a survey by Knight Frank in 2019 on the value of the private senior living market forecasts it will grow by almost 40% to 55 billion in the next 2 years. You probably already know that the USA and Australia has led the way in building retirement living developments, and their introduction in the UK has been a little more tentative, but there is no doubt that's changing and that we are starting to catch up. Retirement living developments are rapidly moving from niche to mainstream. So the first point we mentioned, the benefits of retirement living. Who's it for? Who isn't it for? Most of the calls we get on our advice lines at Autumna fall into 4 main categories. The first one, people wishing to downsize. Usually they're living in a large house where the kids have flown the nest and they're rattling around a bit. The second one, they want to simplify outgoings and let somebody else manage the repairs and the gardening of the house. The third, the family house is simply no longer suitable. Too many stairs, bathrooms in inaccessible places, too dark even. The 60 plus age group often needs 15 times as much light as a 10-year-old in order to be able to see the same things. And finally, the big one, for this year in particular, social isolation. A lot of calls to our advice line are from people who have felt very isolated, and should we ever experience a year like 2020 again, want to make sure they are in an environment where they feel safe and are among friends. So downsizing doesn't just mean moving to a smaller house, but a smaller house that addresses accessibility, mobility issues and isolation that might come with later life. I quite like the phrase, it's not so much downsizing as right-sizing. And this is the major benefit of a retirement living property. Now, you could of course look for a smaller conventional property, but there are specific benefits that come with retirement developments. Generally, retirement living developments are only available to the 55 plus age bracket. So straight away, you won't be competing on price with younger people looking for similar sized properties. Also, they present a range of solutions a downsizer or right-sizer might have. For example, one of them being able to host visitors overnight if you don't have a big house anymore. To maybe having somebody on site to be on hand if you need a light bulb changing. Up to and including any level of care should you need it. Retirement living offers a solution to anybody who is considering a move. This isn't just a new house you're getting, but a whole new approach to life with a focus on exactly what you want and value at this time in your life. So let's go to number 2. Let's now look at the type of retirement living developments available. And this is a tricky bit because retirement living developments quite literally come in all shapes and sizes, which is great if you're considering one. You will almost certainly find one that suits you. The problem is, how do you work out what you're looking for and how do you find it? At Autumna, we've tried to keep it really simple. Our directory has broken the sector down, firstly into the size of the development. So we've categorised all developments as either a retirement village, a retirement community, or retirement housing. A retirement village is likely to be set in substantial acreage and is more often than not rural. A retirement community may have the same number of properties, but will tend to be more town-based. And retirement housing developments are often much smaller and may be closely associated with a care home, for example. They offer a more family environment. So in a nutshell, we've broken them down as large, medium and small. So the first step in deciding what you're looking for is, do you want to be rural, town-based, or in a family environment? And from there, you can start layering what you need. What facilities do you want? Developments can offer restaurants, cafes, bars, gyms, swimming pools, spas, cinemas, all of them actually on your development. Or you may value living in a community of like-minded people and you don't want the on-site facilities. You want to be able to pop to the high street for a Starbucks. So a well-designed property with a concierge service perhaps and 24-hour assistance just in case is all that's needed. Or you or your partner might need care and support and would really value home care built into the development with perhaps a care home also on the site. Whatever your needs, there will be a retirement living development that offers it. So number 3 then, let's talk about care in a retirement village. Again, the provision of care will vary considerably, so it's worth working out what you need. Some developments, regardless of their size, will provide no care at all. That doesn't mean to say you can't bring care in, just that it's not available on site. Others have registered home care providers on site specifically for the use of the residents. And then others, as I've mentioned, have care homes on site. Here's a few things to think about though when you're considering what care you might need, if any. Should your situation change, what level of care or help and assistance is available to residents? Are you happy with just a concierge service operating Monday to Friday? Do you want a member of staff on site 24 hours a day? Or do you think a registered home care or care home on site would work for you? Now, unlike care homes and home care services, retirement living developments do not need to be registered by any government regulatory bodies. However, developments that do provide some care can have an accreditation with the Associated Retirement Community Operators, or ARCO for short. This is a rigorous accreditation process, so if you're looking for some reassurance, an ARCO accredited development might be what you're looking for. Number 4, moving on to the financial and legal aspects. Would it surprise you there's a lot of variety? There's quite a lot to cover here, but I'll keep it as brief as possible. Let's deal with the financials first. Most retirement living properties used to be leasehold purchase. However, the rental market is definitely a growing trend in the sector. But let's look at the purchase option first. Many developments are offering a range of incentives to help you buy. This can include paying your stamp duty when it kicks back in, your legal fees, arranging a part exchange on your existing property so you don't have to wait to find a buyer. You're usually purchasing the leasehold, which is standard wherever you buy an apartment, However, there are some freehold properties available, but this is quite rare in the sector. Now, the rental option. This is a growing area, and of course it avoids stamp duty and offers more flexibility. You can rent for a period of time and then move on. Your assets are not tied up in the property. And some rental options are all-inclusive, so this would include your utility bills, your meals, your activities, housekeeping. So make sure you check what is included in any rental option. Some developments offer only private purchase, others private rental, but you can also find part buy, part rental options. There really is something to suit every budget. Now, the legal side. Whichever option works for you, purchase or rental, you will need to speak to the individual development about any legal restrictions they have. For example, a minimum age. And your health. Some developments may not accept a resident with a diagnosis of dementia. Financial restrictions, this can apply to some part buy and part rent models, so you'd need to check that out as well. Also make sure you understand the extra charges that may also be levied as part of the overall package. Management fees or service charges, for example. These charges cover a broad range of costs and they pay for the running of the development, from repairs, maintenance, the upkeep of the gardens to financing the administrative side of the business. The amount charged will vary from development to development, often depending on the size and the facilities offered. Generally, the more facilities in the development, the higher the management fee. It costs to run a swimming pool. You should also ask your solicitor to look into exit fees. Exit fees have a variety of names, for example, deferred management fees, etc., and they refer to the fee you may be asked to pay when your property is sold. They have in the past been subject to some bad publicity. So if they are charged, why are they charged? Well, possibly the best explanation I've seen is if you take the example of a swimming pool that has been built in your brand new retirement village. Your management fee will cover the maintenance of the pool, but the exit fee covers your contribution to the cost of building it in the first place. I hope that helps. So number 5, how do you find your perfect retirement home? We have built a comprehensive list of well over 1,000 developments across the UK, and we're adding to it all the time as we find these developments. And I would say to you, here's a little sort of top tip on what to do. Number 1, start with your preferred location. Number 2, decide if you're looking for a village in the countryside, a community near a town, or a smaller environment. Number 3, what lifestyle facilities are important to you? A bowling green, a swimming pool, cafe? None at all. Number 4, filter the care options you think you might need and try and future-proof any development you're considering. Number 5, filter by price, either rental or purchase. You're building your shortlist. If you need help, our Advice Line team is available online and on the phone to guide you. And once you've got your shortlist, it's time to start having a look round. Now, obviously, the restrictions imposed during the pandemic have made this very difficult, but you can always have a virtual visit. And we have encouraged developers to post as many videos and virtual tours on Autumna as possible. But with lockdown restrictions beginning to ease, and as more of us get our second jab, the possibility of being able to visit safely in person is just around the corner. We would say there is nothing more important than actually speaking to the people who already live at the place you are considering to find out what it's really like.
Living here, I feel very, very content.
One word, Mary.
Yeah, right.
Principally, I feel settled.
Feel alive.
Very comfortable.
Living here, I feel happy.
Feel safe.
I feel peaceful.
Amazingly happy.
Life is easy here.
I think you'll find this is the best.
Some villages actually offer a try before you buy scheme where you can stay for a few days to see how you would settle in and to meet the other residents. This can be really useful, as one visit often isn't enough. Find out how things are run, how are things managed. Is there a residents committee? Do you want a residents committee? Ask the questions that matter to you. Are pets allowed? Are there any arranged social events and activities? And if you don't know the area, because we find a lot of people are moving outside of their area, what does it have to offer in the way of services and leisure? Go take a look, explore. If you need help, Autumna has teamed up with the Senior Move Partnership, who can escort you on viewing trips and help you with the moving in process when the time comes. A move into a retirement living development could be the start of a whole new exciting chapter of your life. If you're thinking about it, just don't leave it too late. Take control and try to move when you're fit and healthy and able to take full advantage of the many benefits on offer at your new home. Enjoy it, have fun. I'm sure you've earned it. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget, our advice line is open 7 days a week if ever you need to talk things through. Thanks a lot.